And I say this to so many builders. I've had quite a few cheapies that used to work for us and they've set up their own like building things, and they do maybe 10, 15 homes a year. And I say to them, charge more. You are worth it. You're a small builder. You got quality. You can't charge this price. Like, don't do it.
G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of Level Up. We are back in the shed this afternoon for an absolute cracker of an episode. I just want to give you a few stats on the special guest we have here today because, yeah, he absolutely blows me away. I take my hat off to him for what he's accomplished. So he's won Brisbane and Australia's Young Entrepreneur of the Year 3 years in a row. He's in Australia's top 100 young entrepreneurs. His biggest home to date is 1,700 square metres, bit of a mega mansion. He's started his own podcast this year. He's in the top 20 largest home builders in Queensland, and he loves Mercedes-Benz cars. So a massive warm welcome to Chris from CMA Homes.
Thank you very much. I'm really glad to be here.
How are you, mate?
Good. When you hear the stuff you said and it's yourself, it sounds so strange.
Mate, seriously, that is massive accomplishments because you're only a young fella.
Yeah, 36. So I still got up until 40 is considered like the young entrepreneur thing. So I still got a few years in. So yeah.
Yeah, mate, you're absolutely kicking goals, and in the market you're in, like that volume building market, like you're actually producing like unbelievable quality homes.
Yeah, we try hard. That's, I guess, our biggest point of difference. It's hard because our market is super tough, and to do volume and the quality, it takes a lot of effort. So we're just talking about procedures and all this, and we are a really big builder, but running like a small builder. This is our CMA, I guess. So that's how we are different, and that's how we can keep like this of quality going.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of work. That's a lot of work,
mate. I was so keen to have a chat to you, and I really appreciate your time popping in. So you and I met through a mutual mate. We went on a crazy expedition not that long ago.
We did.
Hiking we did Mount Kosciuszko in our underwear.
Yeah.
Bloody 0 degrees or minus 2 degrees, whatever it was. So, and just the few conversations we had on that trip was, I was really inspired by what you do and what you've achieved. And my mission is to create a new building industry where builders and tradies run great businesses and get freedom from their businesses and those types of things. But also anyone thinking about building or renovating can get a bit of an insight into what builders actually do, what we have to deal with, all the knowledge we have to have, all those types of things. So really, really appreciate you coming in and taking the time to talk through it. So can you tell us a little bit about how did you get started? Like, how do you go from?
Oh man, we started absolutely from scratch. So we started back in 2009, so 15 years ago. So it's been a while since I've had CMA. Purely a family business. So it's my parents and I, and we started, my parents and I, and for the first probably 5 or 6 years, I had no employee. It was just us. So it took a while to get that momentum all going.
So when you say no employees,
no employees,
who was doing all the framing and contractors?
This is another story. So the first house we did, so first year we built one house, and the first house we did was a spec home. We found a cheap block of land. I drew the plans, got BA, did all the estimating. My dad and I built a full house. And when I say that, I mean like we built a full house. The only things we subbed out was waterproofing, the electrical, and the plumbing. Yeah. Everything else we did. Slab, roofing, framing, walls, rendering, painting, tiling, kitchen, staircase, the whole thing.
That's pretty impressive.
It is. And
I highly doubt there's any other volume builder that wouldn't know how to do it.
They wouldn't. And, I'll look back and I'm thinking, that was so retarded. Why did I do this and spend so much time just doing so many things? I could have scaled up so much faster. But then at the same time, I look back and I'm thinking, I'm really good at what I do because of this. I can tile, I can do anything. So as we grew and built more houses, we slowly started to sub it out. Obviously, we found out after the first 3 houses, ceiling insulation is just too much work, so we started to sub it out. We started to sub out the plasterboard, the roofing. We were still doing framing and all this, and painting and tiling and kitchen and stone benches. We were still doing all those things for quite a long time. And the word got out there because we were building in North Lakes, quite a small community like at the time. We started to get to know people that worked at Stockland. The word of mouth got out there that, you know, CMA was doing a good job. We were literally, my dad and I would smash houses in like 10 weeks. Like it was just us, you know, there was no other jobs. It was just this job, and we're just smashing it out.
To give listeners a bit of an indication, so like you've been going for 15 years.
15 years,
You went from one home in the first year doing everything yourself to what have you just done for this financial year? 200 and something odd houses?
I don't know how many houses exactly we built. I'd say, anywhere between 250 to 300. And I think we nearly did 92 million in turnover. So,
holy shit, mate. That is super impressive. Obviously, like you've obviously come a huge way from back then.
We've come a massive way. It's even when I look at it, I'm just still like mind blown to this day.
But you're like, I don't know if I've ever met someone like you're like the mate that we went to this expedition with. Like I used to say, like he is the most dedicated person I've met, and I think you're very much the same. Like you are so committed.
Not many people know this either, but the first probably, like I sacrificed my life really for the business. I'm really dedicated, and I am a workaholic. There's no doubt about it. I work 7 days a week. But the first, I would say, probably 6 or 7 years of CMA, I took this like to a whole different level of like extreme, where I would work 7 days a week, but I probably would work, no joke, easily 16, 17, 18 hours a day. This was my first like 7 years. I had no relationship, no personal life, no like nothing. So like people see how far we've come, but they also don't see where we started.
The sacrifices.
And when you, like, because when we started to like ramp up, and the word of mouth got out there, we started to get like 25, 30 homes to build. I had no estimators. I had no drafty. I was doing all the plans. I was doing all the estimating. I was doing all the building approvals. I was doing all the color selection. I was doing all the sales. I was doing fucking everything. the supervision too.
Yeah.
My dad was there to self-help.
The thing is, like, I like you've sacrificed a lot. But like, to me, like the experience that you've gained from that,
100%.
like, would mean that you oversee everything now. You know what everything needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like I do not regret what I've done, and I feel for where I am today and my skill level, I'd like to say there's not many 36-year-old that would have like the skills that I have. They may say they may be good at this or whatever, but based on what I've done, I can do anything home building was. I can draw a full set of plan like ready for like BA. You know, I can tile a full house. I can paint a full house. I can plaster a full house. Like, you know, so this has been good because it's also brought up the sort of respect from trades. When those trades that we've been using for years, they know where we come from. I don't know. I think home building, like, you know, it's a lot about relationships with suppliers and trades. And when the trades respect, this is what I say to my site supervisors all the time. I said, you got to get respect from your trades. You can't just say to someone, you know, do this or do that. You got to get respect. And for you to get respect, you have to, you know, you have to earn it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've earned my respect in that regards. It wasn't easy, but yeah.
Mate, it's an incredible story. And like, how do you go like finding staff now? Like, cause like as any business grows, like when you've come from like someone like yourself that's had a go and you know how to do everything.
Yeah.
Like, do you sit back and go, oh shit, like they're too slow, or I could do it quicker than that? Like,
look, my office will tell you I'm the hardest man to please. So they will definitely say that. When I give a compliment to one of my staff member, they know that is genuine. I don't compliment them. You know, I don't say, "Oh, you're doing a good job." If you're not, I will say it how it is.
Yeah.
But when I say something, you know, it's really true, I guess. So, look, I set a standard, and yes, it's high. But how I feel is, as the business owner, I feel like a coach, right? And this is my team, and I have to set the sort of example, and I have to set the standard. And if I set the standard low, this is what I explain to them. You know, my whole goal is for you to be the best at what you do.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with the site supervisors. You know, how good does it feel to know that if someone wants to build, they want you to be the site supervisor? How good does this feel like? And this is how I want everybody to feel. So yes, I set a high standard, but I wish I could train more. Like, obviously it's hard with some. Once I think I've got a team of 45 now, so it gets a little bit hard.
That just work directly for CMA.
Yeah. So direct employees, we probably got 45. So we got site supervisors, obviously office draftees, estimators, and
Well, you need a lot of staff to do 250 plus.
We do, and we're pretty much on point stuff wise. You know, we could possibly do it a little bit extra, but I've built, I guess, a bit of a culture where, you know, it's hard work and like most of these sort of people I have, they love what they do. And I would never employ someone that's just really good at what they do, but they don't enjoy it. I feel it's just not going to work.
Yeah, especially with the culture that you're building in your business.
It's pretty much, So I feel like I'm a coach. I feel I'm here like every day to like pump everybody up and like answer questions and solve problems and this and that. And because it's hard, it's home building and people don't sort of realize, but when you look at how much work it takes for a builder to build 10, 20, 50 homes, like it's a lot of work. And if a client saw the work behind the scenes, like, man, it's incredible amount of work, incredible. And for everything to run as smooth as possible, it never runs smooth, obviously, because it's home building, but for it to run as smooth as possible, it is hard. It takes a lot of work.
There's not too many volume type builders like yourself that I pay much attention to, but I think it's a credit to you of the level of quality you've been able to achieve in that market. Like you would have to be the leader when it comes to quality.
I'd like to say, so you know what bothers me? I mean, it like it really does. Those, like most of my competition, they are not home builders. I don't see them as home builders. If you took the boss and you asked him to build a house, he probably would have no idea. And that bothers me because I feel, and this is what I say, like they are sales company. They just sell houses.
Well, I think that's why I connected with you, mate, because that's the way I look at all those builders.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it. So I'm not here, like, if I have a client and I don't feel like I can meet the expectation, I am not the right builder for you. I'm not here to sell you a house. I want to beat your expectation. I want to build a nice house. This is my name on that house. So I feel it just comes down to care. And I mean, I love what I do, and I think it shows. And I think it's not just like a sell-like business. Like, again, it probably would have to be nearly all these are big builders. I don't want to generalize, I guess, but
you've really taken, like, from what I see sitting on the outside and looking at your Instagram and things, like, love the walkthrough videos you do. They're fantastic. But like, you've really, like, you've sort of taken like someone like myself, like a small custom builder, and you've just skyrocketed it to the next level.
Pretty much. And this, there was never a plan to do this or that. I guess, yes, obviously I'm like ambitious and I love a challenge, and I'm always, I push hard. Like, so I'm always trying to get to that next step, and it just escalated, it just escalated. And before you know it, you turn 92 million and then, and you got 45 stuff, and you're like, where did this come from? So yeah.
Oh, mate, it's bloody incredible. And you should be super proud of yourself, because it's a big achievement.
I have to say, it's hard because, and I was having a chat with my estimate actually, because I've been hard on them, I'm like, because I'm very much a detailed man. So, if there's $100 to spend here, I'm going to sit and I'm going to ask why, and so I've been a bit hard on them, and they can see that. And what I said to them, look, I'm the hardest person on me, nobody's going to be harder on me than me. And it's hard because as much as I feel like I'm doing well, and I want the young entrepreneur thing and all that, I feel like I haven't started. Like I have just started. This is how I feel, So I feel like I've only scratched this sort of surface. I feel like we can always improve our customer service, and we can always build better houses. And
how do you take? Because like you see most volume builders, and like, I don't know, they have a dozen or 2 dozen sort of plans, and that's what you get. Whereas a lot of the stuff I see from you it's like, custom. It looks like a custom.
95% of what we do is full custom. So yeah, which is what makes it hard, but at the same time, it was what makes us different. If we fall, and again, we had phases where like my team is like, oh, we should do standard plans and all that, but I'm like, we're gonna fall back in the same gap.
So you're at the premium end of a volume builder, like
no, we still got really good process. Like when we have a Metricon or plantation quote, usually we're pretty much on par.
Yeah,
we are pretty much on par. So yeah, price wise we're pretty much there, but we have the flexibility that you can do a custom floor plan. You bring us a sketch, we'll do it. It's a lot of work, which is why those builders can't do it, because it's a lot of work, a lot of checking. Like I still, to this date, I still check every single plan. I check every single contract that goes out, because you need a builder's set of eyes to actually look at it and see, is this going to work? Is the pad height right? Like, like some things, yeah. It's hard, and I see why they don't do it. But for me,
a lot of those volume builders, like I've seen a few of their contracts over the years, and if the block of land's got more than half a meter of fall on it, they don't want to know.
If it's an E-class or whatever, they won't even touch it. So we take on those jobs. And look, this is how I felt too. Like I really enjoy what I do, and if I had to just do standard homes, I feel my enjoyment of it would be like, it's like, so I like to do those challenging homes. Obviously we can't do too many, but I do like to take those special projects, and I don't know if you saw the video of that one with the curved staircase. We got
Yeah,
two
yeah.
curved staircase. That was, I think it was a 850 square meter home, and I took that on, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah.
Oh man, it's pretty impressive. Like, so how do you go about employing? So you would be using a lot of contractors.
Yeah.
Like, how do you qualify them and make sure they're up to your standard?
Most of the guys that we have in terms of subbies, Contractors, everything, they've been with us for years and years. And what had happened is they've grown their sub business with us. Now, sometimes it's hard. Say we've got like a few painters and we've got a few tilers and all this. So those trades, sometimes they don't scale that much. But for example, if I take our cabinet maker, he's fully scaled with us, does 100% of the CMA home. If I take our stonemason, when I met him, same thing. He was a really small stonemason. Now he's got a huge factory, does 100% of the CMA work. So a lot of them have just scaled with us. And the new ones, yes, it's hard. And I always say to my team, like, set the expectation. Before he even starts a job, set the expectation. This is a critical part. If they don't know what you expect and if they don't know what you expect, it's never going to work out.
I talk about that so much. Like that is across the board. That's with your employees,
sure.
your contractors, and especially with your clients.
Yeah.
Like you've got to set an expectation right off the bat about
that's right.
how you're going to deal with their job, execute their job right from the first time you meet them and talk to them. Like
exactly. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we may have like a first-time buyer and they literally have no idea and they think a house is perfection, and you just got to explain, it's built by hand. Everything is built by hand. So yes, there's standards which we have to obey to. But yeah, you can only push it so far. A house is still all built by hand, and don't expect something because it's just not going to happen, I guess. Yeah. So sometimes you have to just set the expectation. And at all stages of the build, I said to my sales team, you got to set the expectation at sales stage. Site supervisors, when they meet a client, set your expectation at that stage and just keep going as you go. The worst thing you can do is just not set anything, and then it's just free fall.
Do you allow clients to do site visits during the build?
Yes, but usually, again, workplace health and safety and all the stuff. So they normally have to be with a site supervisor. So we have a few compulsory meetings. So we got frame stage, tile stage, and PCI. And obviously, if they want to see the house at any point in time, just give us a call or send us an email.
Yeah, and make sure they're supervised by a member of your team.
Ideally, because otherwise, again, if we're workplace health and safety officer, they get injured on site.
Yeah, but I think that's such an important thing. Like I have this, like people that listen to the podcast would have heard me say it a million times. Like you can't expect clients to get shitty about not visiting the site. Like they're paying you a lot of money. And if you say, hey, I've signed a contract, come and get the keys at the end of the job, they're going to try and sneak in on weekends and all sorts of things.
And usually, again, sometimes we have site supervisors and they may be new with us and they don't understand that, clients wants to come every week, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, look, if they want to come every week, it's probably going to help you out because they're probably going to pick on things because it's their house. They got that one job. You probably got 15. They're going to pick on things that you won't pick, and it's going to save your time, by the time you get to the end of the build. So, for me, I like it. I would rather meet clients really often every week. This is my preference. I know it's hard for us, but
250.
Yeah, that's it. But if I had like a few jobs, I would love to meet my clients every week and go through the house and just make sure they're good with everything. And because I feel it's true. Again, they are spending that much money on a house that you can't just let it sit like this. You want to see it, you want to see it get it built, and this is the whole excitement.
Yeah, and I love the you set the expectation because that just that simple task of having a conversation with a client at sales stage and explaining the process to them and some little things that might go wrong or whatever. And I find the other one that's really important to set expectations with is a handover.
Oh,
what's going to happen in handover? How are we going to do it? We do a defects walkthrough, all that type of thing because so many builders just they're chasing that last payment and they rush the handover. They don't explain to the client how anything's going to happen if something's wrong or if they have a warranty claim. And then they get the shits because the client's emailing or ringing them.
100%. That sort of PCI inspection, you really do have to set the expectation because the last thing you want is true. Like a client's going to go like mental with a blue tape and just tape the whole house. And and it's a fun line. It's actually quite a bit of work to set the right expectation without sounding like you're trying to avoid things. It's but I feel, again, I say to my team, just be really transparent when there's a mistake. Be honest. Don't try to hide things, and it will go fine. So
how do you deal with things like that? Like, do you have contract or employment agreements with your contractors and things? Like, if there is defects that are from them or whatever, they have to pay, like they
Yeah,
have to
so
come back and fix it, or
it's a little bit hard, right? But we do have a procedure where the invoice doesn't get paid until a site supervisor has checked the work and then ticks off on the invoice. Now we pay on a weekly basis. This is how we keep, all the good trades. But sometimes it's a bit hard for all the site supervisors to check everything. But it's the best way. This is what I said to them. Once you pay that sort of invoice, we can have all the terms and conditions and blah blah blah. If it's an existing trade, it's going to be fine. It's nice and easy. You just call them and they'll come back. If it's a new trade that we may not have necessarily used, it's a lot more work to actually get them back, to actually fix it.
Yeah.
Particularly if they're busy and they don't really want to come back. So usually my main thing is check the actual work, check for sort of defects. Send a list to that subbit that says, the ground here is missing, expansion joints here are not done. Once this is done, we will release the SR payment. But usually, like
you've
you
got
were
to
saying,
have checklists throughout the build. Like everyone's got to be checking things off. But
oh, that's right. This is what I say again. Like home building is about check. You cannot run a job from home. You have to be on site. And every time you rock up on site, what I do is I'm on quality control. The first 10 or 15 minutes I'm on site, don't even talk to me. I'm just going to check everything.
Yeah.
And I do my list. Once I've checked, I can go on to organizing like schedules and all that. But I found where site supervisors or also builders fail is because they just don't pay attention.
Mate, that is like, I'm a big fan of that. It's the number one thing. Like you cannot build a house without quality supervision.
For sure.
Like supervision is the most important thing.
Number one, and the more complicated the house, the more you actually need to survey that, which is what we can't do too many big homes because it takes too much of my time. But yeah, if it's a really big house, you may have to be there every single day. So if it's an average home, yes, you still need to check, but it's not as bad. But still, checking. I'm a checking freak. Like I'd rather check because I don't want to have the issue later on. Once it's plastered and once it's bricked or sort of hebled, it's so much more work.
I think it's just something that's naturally built into a builder.
Yeah, sure.
I don't really know too many builders that aren't, like, people think we're perfectionists or bloody micromanagers and things. But like for me, number one, it's about the quality. But number two, like it's my name on it. Like
that's right.
Mate, I love the fact that you just said before you pay weekly. Like, I don't know
we do.
too many big builders that
we
pay
weekly. All the trades on a weekly basis. Every Friday, that payment goes through. Because, like, I put myself in that position too. Like, it's hard, when they got their crews and, some of those trades don't necessarily do that well, or they don't necessarily know how to manage a business that we're talking about. And I think that sort of weekly payment is what's allowed us to keep those trades.
Yeah, well, that's all part of building your culture, isn't it?
For sure.
People see that you respect them and their families, their businesses. And reality is that you've managed to build such a good business that's got healthy cash flow.
That's right.
You can do that.
But no matter what, I guess most of the trades, again, that have known us for years, they would know that, I will literally die if I can't pay you. Like, I will do everything I can. Even if CMA was to go like bankrupt for any reason, man, I would work so hard to like repay like everyone because it's just not us. Like I am not that type of person. I couldn't walk away. And I say this to like a lot of people too, like I need to sleep at night. And for me to sleep at night, I need to know everybody's paid and I'm fine. I need to know those houses are built as good as possible. Because once you get to the volume and you got that many houses, you got that many clients, you got that many staff and trades, like it's a lot of pressure, to cope with all this stuff, I guess. So for me to actually be able to sleep well and to make sure all the boxes are ticked, and for me, like I need to know that those trades are paid on a weekly. You've done your work. You completely deserve to yourself get paid, and I can have my sleep and I'm good.
Yeah. So, mate, what's some things, like, because every builder out there is trying to grow their business. Like, what's a few things that have helped you get to where you are? Like, do you do any sort of personal development or training, coaching?
I mean, for myself, I would say every single day. Every single day, I either look at a video or something that's gonna either motivate me or I learn something new. I'm a sucker for like knowledge and everything. Even in home building, like I want to know about engineering. I want to know why we're using 16 mil steel and not 12. Like, I'm a sucker for that. And I think if you want to be really good at what you do, and if you want to grow your your sort of business, try to really become the best at it. What's going to make you a really good builder? If you build your sort of knowledge and you can answer pretty much any question a client's going to have, you're going to be winning. And then that reputation is going to grow, and people are going to know that you are the shit. You know what you're talking about. You know how to build a good house. And so knowledge for me is number one. I say this to my sales team too. I say, you have to know what you're talking about. You can't sell a house if you don't know what a waffle pot slab is, or you don't know what an M or H2 class soil is, So I feel that knowledge for me is number one. And I love knowledge. And I think if you grow your actual knowledge, personal development, seminars, like whatever, I feel you're going to become a much, much better sort of builder.
Because really your team, your contractors, your clients, like everyone is really just a reflection of what you're doing and saying and putting out there.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So it's true. If my standard is shit quality is going to be on all these sort of CMA houses.
Yeah.
If I will not accept that standard, they know that standard is not going to go through. So when I go and check a house, because I don't have a construction sort of manager, it's just me. So when I go and
how do you do everything, mate? Like,
I had a construction manager, I had a maintenance managers, and I'm sick of it. I can't do it anymore. I've had enough. They're no longer. So I'm the construction sort of manager with my dad. I guess he helps me out on site. And people will never believe this, but I still do maintenance to this day.
I believe it because I've been away with you for a long weekend and I see you on your phone checking emails, sending pictures.
Particularly, I guess when we start to get like a bit more than like usual, I step on the tools and I do maintenance. Like yesterday, I was fixing drummy tiles. The other day, I was doing some painting. The other day, I was doing some rendering on a job on the south side. I'm just like, I feel if you have a business and you're a home builder, you have to have the mentality of sort of whatever it takes. I feel you can't say, "Oh, this is not my job."
That last 1% in.
If someone says to me, "This is not my job," it's the worst thing you can say to me, because I go on site and I might clean a toilet that's got skid marks on the side. I will do whatever it takes. I don't care as long as the house is good. This is my number one priority. So yeah, I feel you really have to be hands on. I feel
and I would put money on, mate, that there is not too many volume builders out there that would even think about doing that.
Yeah, no.
Like they'd sit in their office or
sure.
Probably don't even, they'd have someone running the office.
For sure, yeah.
And send someone else to
For sure. And I just can't do it. I just, I've learned that I just can't do it. Yeah. I've learned that it's hard. I found that what they say is true. Nobody's going to care as much about your business as you do. And yes, you can have the systems in place, and yes, you can have like everything in place, but unless it's a perfect system, which is never like a possible thing, it just won't run as good as I want it to run. And when you're trying to grow a business and when you're trying to build a reputation and everything, I feel like you have to be hands-on. I feel like for me, there's no other way. I couldn't just be in the office, sit on the chair and I have to be in the office, out, in, out, in, out. Like, today I was in Palm Beach the whole day. It's with the site supervisor, touching up the whole house, because there's a few things that, again, it's home building. What trade do you get to fix this?
Yeah.
Don't know, so yeah, we're fixing all the small things. And I feel if I didn't put in that effort today with a site supervisor, yes, it's hard work, but that client's going to be happy. And that client's going to be talking to other people about how good it was to build with CMA. And that the owner was there all day with a site supervisor to actually fix all the small things in the house to make sure they're really, really happy.
So you must have an incredible office team. Like if you're out doing all this other stuff, like I do. So do you have, like, how do you get sales? Do they come through display homes? Do you have
we've got a bit of a mix, I guess. So we've got 6 display homes. 6, yeah. So we got 6 display homes, Sunshine Coast, Brisbane and Southside. And we have obviously a sales consultant in each of those. I guess if I had to look at most of the sales we actually get, traffic to the display home is not that big. I mean, it's not that big like in itself where, a client's going to walk through and have a quick look and, I'm going to build with CMA because I got a nice house. It's mostly word of mouth, the reputation we have. And this is all linked to the social media, the YouTube and all this.
Yeah. So, like, what drives you? Like, what are you? Why do you think you love building so much?
I don't know. I can't figure it out. So it's quite funny because my mom used to tell me that when I was a kid, I always like to say I was a bit special. I wasn't the standard kid. I was always a bit special. And I'd like to think most of my team is actually a little bit special, but in a good way. Like, you know, I have unusual like people, but I like it. And since I was a kid, I used to love, you know, business and success and motivational stuff and all that sort of stuff. And on top of that, not sure how it comes from. I can't figure it out to this day. But my dad was a builder back in France because I come from France. And ever since I was a little kid, because he had a really small carpentry business, every single opportunity I would go to work with him. And, you know, some kids play soccer, some plays race. Me, the happiest was going to work with my dad. Weekend, nights, doesn't matter. Get me to work with my dad and I'm going to be super happy. So I feel this is what I say to most people. I feel like in the current society, people don't get to understand that work is good. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Like, you know, work is good. Like I love what I do. And if I wasn't like working at, I just don't know what else I would do.
So do you think there's a connection there? So one of the things we, so in Live Life Build where we train builders and stuff. So we talk a lot about, like one of the first things we do when we get a member is we have this overhead calculator. We get them to understand their numbers, and like we've had literally hundreds of builders do this now.
Number one thing,
probably had 2 or 3 that have been close.
Yeah.
And so we talk through their numbers. We get them understanding their running costs, their overheads. Then we get them understanding their salaries, and then adding their company profit on. And the first thing when we figure out those numbers is like, fuck, I'm never going to win another job. How can I put that margin on my jobs? And so then we do these exercises, and Nicole Hatherley from Brand True North has been incredible. She's done some professional sessions with us that we got on our platform, and she talks like what you just talked about. So to set yourself apart, and I think you're doing it without knowing it, but
you have to.
You need to.
You have to be different,
deep, and find out where that passion's coming from. And like just listening to your story, I feel that like there's a connection there with you and your dad. Like,
I'm sure. Yeah.
That connection has probably got something to, like, you love building so much now because you're getting to build people's dreams. Like you were going to work with your dad, you're building people's homes, and now you're doing that. So there's something in that, but I'd probably say have a deep dive into it. But when you can find that passion, that like those beliefs, those cultures, those values, those opinions, all those things, when you nail that, and I think you're obviously doing it, that is when you attract clients. That everything's just a great a great process, great 100%.
Relationship. And like, you know, this is what I say again to my team. Like sometimes I say, look, I have never sold a house to a client. I just say my opinion, but when I sell a house, I'm so passionate about it that like I believe in my product so much that for me it is not selling, you know, like it's easy. I know I got a great price, I know I got a great home, I'm sold on it, so it's so much easier to sell my sort of client, you know. So but yeah, it's quite funny what you said with the dad thing and all that. It sort of makes sense now. And
because it's funny, like we talk to our members a lot about, like, if you want to separate yourself from other builders, like, so I say, what do you say when people ask you what you do? And everyone says a builder. And like, that's the last thing you want to say, because you want to have a spiel that separates you from the guy next door or the guy down the road. Like, you want people to come to you because they want you are.
That's right. You want to be, my goal is always to be as different as possible to all the other builders. When I got stuff, so remember, and they say, oh, this is what Plantation Homes doing. I'm like, look, I don't care. This is their floor plan. This is whatever. I don't care. We are CMA, we do things different. And this is what makes us different, you know. I don't really care about copying this or copying a promotion. I hate promotions. Like, this is another thing I hate. It's like, why do you have to do a promotion? Like, my product is good. I don't need no promotion. No, why should I do one when all the other builders are doing free sort of Dr. Air or sort of whatever? Like, I don't need it, you know. And I felt one of the number one things why we are successful is we are different. There is no doubt about it. Yeah.
Did your dad have what size was his building business?
Really, really small. So he was mostly, I guess if I could explain it, so he had, I think, 3 staff, mostly doing maintenance work in high-rise apartments. Yeah. So I would go around with him as a kid, pass him screwdrivers and stuff, and he would fix. My dad's, he can fix anything.
Because your mum and dad still work in the business, don't they?
Still working in the business. So my dad's obviously on site, you know, checking things and helping with anything. Again, my dad's mindset is do whatever it takes. We're like literally, again, another small example of, people may see the size of this business, but they don't see what we do. But yesterday, I was on a tight job. We had a plasterboard delivery. The site was sort of away, and there was a pile of shit and a brand new bin. I'm like, we can't leave it like that. So my dad and I are putting all the shit into the bin. It took us about 2 hours. Bin was full, called for a new bin. But this is the sort of stuff I think, you just have to work hard, and you have to care about your support. I can't go to your site and sit like that and just leave it. I just can't do it.
Yeah. Mate, that's what's making your business what it is. You're setting an incredible standard. And yeah, what's your site supervisor like? Are they there? Do they see that happening?
Yeah, look, I'm always on their back. I guess that's the only way to put it. I'm always pushing them, I guess, and pushing them in a way more so I'm helping them. So I'm always just can't think of the last one I did. Prime example, so I'm trying to train them too. So say some of them I've seen have been pouring driveways before the porch tiling is done. I'm like, look, guys, I don't mind if you do it, but you got to make sure that, you allow for the tile thickness. You put a piece of skirting, along the edge. You check for squares, and the list goes on. And some of them were like, oh shit, I haven't done it on my last one. Or shit, I'll make sure on the next one. So I sort of see what they do, and I try to train them based on what I see. So sometimes, at first when they knew and they start, they think it's a little bit of a micromanaging type of thing, which I guess it depends how you look at it. I don't necessarily look at it that way, but some may. But for me, it's about helping them. Like I've built, 2,000 homes by now. I know what's going to go wrong. Trust me, if you don't do it, it will go wrong. It's going to be much, much harder for you, So I try to train them all the time, and try to train them to actually make their life easier. Even with the scheduling and sort of all this.
Do you get your team in the office every now and then? And do
every Wednesday, construction team comes in. They update. So we've got client liaison officers who deal with clients directly, I guess. I try not to get the site supervisors involved too much with the daily communication with the clients, because it's just too hard. It's fine if we didn't have much work, but because we've got that much work, it's just too hard. So I got two person in the office that's their full job is just to liaise with our clients. And so the site supervisors come in the office, they update them, they update accounts on invoicing and everything that needs to get done. I sit down with them, have a chat. What's the issues? Slabs haven't been good lately or whatever, and I try to look at all the issues. I go on my side and sort them out, and then we meet again and we go through this every single week. Because every single week there's something different. One week maybe, there's nothing wrong this week, but it's highly unusual. But
when you say wrong, it's not major things.
No,
when you're pumping out 250 plus homes, there's going to be little.
It's small things. So there may be a new crew that sort of install Hebel and they're not as good. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get onto some managers. That new crew is not that great. Can you have a look into it? So I'm always super proactive in trying to find solutions to the problem before it goes too far. Because again, home building, what people have to realize, things go so quick. Mistakes are very quick and very expensive, and you really want to avoid them. From a client's point of view or from a builder's point of view, you want to avoid it. So
So how are you keeping that quality and keeping really tight schedules? Is someone checking after every trade?
So the schedule, we got pre-made schedule on a construction app, I guess. I'd like them to be tighter, but it's hard when you do volume, of course. So
you're a hard taskmaster.
Yeah, that's it.
What's your average build? How long's your average build?
We quote on a two-story house, we quote 40 weeks, on a single 30 weeks. We probably build a single, I would say, in 20 weeks, and a two-story in 30-ish weeks, which I'd like to say it's slow. It's probably the average around, I guess.
No, but that's doing well for that.
Yeah. Look, it's not bad. Again, it's just me being really high expectation, I guess. But I can't remember what was the previous question, I guess. What were we?
Your schedules. How do you keep the quality?
Oh, yeah, that's it. So we got pre-made schedules that, the boys just have to enter the date, start date, and they just adjust it. And with the quality, so I and my dad, we go on site all the time, as much as we can. So we we check things, and then I've got a guy, really nice guy actually, named Paul, that does our third-party inspection. So there's a frame inspection and there's a final inspection. So frame stage, again, one of the most crucial ones. Obviously, you don't want to miss anything. So he goes around, checks everything, does a full report, sends that to the boys, and the boys send that to their own trades and just make sure everything is done.
So is he a third party?
Yeah. So I found that I tried to employ someone and this and that. It's just too hard. He's just really good. He's an ex-Hallmark site supervisor. He's got the knowledge. He's really good. And he has a similar standard to what I have, which is what's most important like to me. He will pick on the things that I would pick. And so I try to have my sets of eyes in there so that I can try to see, what's wrong and what needs to be fixed. So yeah. So this is quality wise, I guess. I try, and I haven't been able to do it as much as I would, but I normally try to do every single handover. Again, it's another thing that makes us different. We go all out. We got presents. We got balloons. We got everything.
On your Instagram.
Yeah, we go hard.
It's like they're having a party.
We go hard, and usually my reasoning behind it is, first of all, I want to check the house. I want the site supervisor to know that I'm coming to actually check the house. So if they know Chris is coming, then they're gonna try hard to make sure the house is good. Then I can, just make sure everything is all nicely set up. And then ideally, whenever possible, meet the client. We build that many homes. I don't get to meet that many clients. I probably meet, I would say, maybe 20% of the clients we build with, whether at sales stage or when it's a complicated job or anything like that. But meeting them at handover provides me with direct feedback. And for me, it's really important. Like sometimes you don't want to hear it, but was the sales slow? Was construction not that good? And if I hear directly from this client, to me, it's like the best thing. So usually I try to sort of do a handover and just have a chat with the client. And even if sometimes what I find, even if construction or somehow the whole process wasn't the best for some reason, I feel like this is what I say to my team. When you go to a restaurant, right, and the meal wasn't that great, dessert wasn't that great, but the chef comes out. The chef has a chat to you. You can see how much the chef cares, and he explains, and he may reset your sort of expectation that you had that nobody maybe reset really well like along the way. And I feel you're gonna walk out of that restaurant feeling much sort of better because you know that company actually cares. And the worst thing to me is when people think we don't care. I hate hearing this because I'm like, but if you see how much we care and how hard we go to make sure those homes are as good as possible, you would be mind blown. So
oh mate, I'm sure like you can hear and see your passion. It's incredible. So I want to clear something up. I heard a story that you and your dad hand dug a swimming pool.
Yeah. This is to show how psycho my dad is. So back in France, my dad bought like a 100-year-old house. This is what the houses are like in France. He had no money. He had just started his business, and how he had started is he quit his job. And it's a real long story why he quit, but he quit his job, asked someone to provide him with work. They said yes. Boom, he was in, set up his own business. At the same time, bought a house. So it was a pretty cheap home. So renovated the whole house on weekends. I used to help him out, obviously. And that's how I learned how to plaster, how to paint, how to do concreting, like the whole thing. But as a kid, I wanted a pool. And my dad, obviously, no money. There's no access. That house was your boundary both ways. No access. And my dad's like, okay, you want a pool? And like, my dad's a full cycle. Like when you tell him like something, he's like me. He loves a challenge. And so the story goes, and I don't know, because I was a kid, but the story goes that I grabbed a shovel and I started digging for the pool. And my dad took it seriously. And he started like to dig the actual pool. And like when you're a kid, you just don't realize. I think about it now. I'm thinking, wow, this is next level. And it took him a year to dig the whole pool, because he was doing it like on weekend, because he was working hard with his new business and all that. So we dig a little bit, spread the soil like around the yard, spread the soil around the yard. And after a full year, the hole was dug, poured a slab. He did the block work. He did the reinforcement. He did the rendering. He did the tiling. He did the grounding. And we had a pool.
So, no wonder you love going to work with your old boy.
And we had a pool. And so when someone says to me something's not possible or I don't have the money, I'm like, you just gotta think outside of the box. How hard do you want it? It's really true. How hard do you want it? And my dad wanted to give a pool to his son and got a pool.
Oh man, that's an incredible story, and that's the reality for most people, isn't it? Like, how hard do you want something?
Yeah, that's right.
If you don't want it hard enough, then you're not going to put in enough effort.
That's right. And I feel, I mean, sometimes people think or say I don't have much empathy and all this for some of those young people, but to me, they don't want it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Well,
sorry,
they
but
want it, but they want to give it to them.
yeah, that's it.
Like-
They don't want to necessarily work that hard for it, and they think like they look at like someone like me and think, oh, he must be lucky. Well, there's no luck in this shit. Like, it was hard work, and it still is hard work. And if you want it, you have to get used to it.
Well, there's luck, but you're creating it.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Like,
right. That's
Everyone,
right.
everyone thinks that luck
That's
just
right.
happens. But
So yeah, if you want something, this is how I've always learned, and I did have really good role models. Obviously, my parents and yeah, my dad's his work ethic is next level. So yeah, if I mean when you see someone like him during your whole childhood, for me it's standard. This is what was hard when I started CMA. I guess when I started that business and I had no businesses, I just knew nothing about business, and the first people I actually employed, I was expecting like a certain standard, and it wasn't happening. And I was like, shit, what's are all people retarded? Like, what the fuck is going on? And I had to learn, you have to have procedures, and you have to have this, and you have to have this. And
so is this when you? Sorry, just to so when you were growing,
yeah,
you thought when you employed people they were going to know more than you, but you'd actually
Exactly.
learned more than.
Exactly. And oh, look, I'm saying there was no part in luck, but there is luck too, because I got lucky with some of the first people I had employed. Some of them still with me to this day were extremely good. For example, I think about my sort of estimator, and when he started, I said to him, look, those are my spreadsheets. I didn't have no data build, none of that. I'm like, those are all my spreadsheets. It works really well. He looked at me as like, look, there's data build. It's much easier. I've got it. He had no procedure. He had nothing. And he sort of rolled with it. And same with your drafting and same with all that. So a lot of CMA was just every single day and see how we go. And yeah, I literally had no idea about procedures. I had no idea about systems. I had no idea about none of those things. And we just learned how we grew. And yeah, still the site supervisor I was with today was our first site supervisor, a bit like a brother to me, I guess. And we used to make fun of it because when he was our first site supervisor, and at one point on his own with us, obviously we had about 50 homes under construction, and it got that intense that we forgot about houses. We had houses that we were like building, and I just said, what's happening with this house? And he's like, I have no idea. And we checked it out, and for like 6 weeks, the house just sat, and it just like, yeah, when you grow like your business, you learn, and it's like, I think back of all the things I've learned, all the things I've done, and it's mind blowing. And I wish I had someone like, for example, you that could have taught me, all those things.
So how did sorry, I want to go right back, like, because. So how, like, you went from year one doing one house,
Yeah.
year two doing, I think you said 2 or 3.
2, yeah. Year 3, maybe we did 3 or 4, I guess, yeah. And then
So like your growth in the last 3 or 5 years is just
yeah,
insane.
from when we started to get stuff, and when I got that first site supervisor, yeah, things started to like ramp up real quick. We pretty much were like doubling every single year then, which was hard. It was even hard. Like I had no idea what cash flow was. Like, I mean, I like look back. I'm so thankful I have my mom in the accounts, because I don't look at the numbers and my dad don't look at the numbers. We're not interested. I'm not the money side of things. I don't know how much money is in the account. I don't care how much money is in the account. But my mom is the one that's really good at this, and luckily we discovered what cash flow was when we doubled year after year, and we're like, there's no money in the account. I'm like, shit, how come? Like, there's profit in the house. I don't get it, and you just learn that, yeah, you can make a profit, but if you don't get paid fast enough, your cash flow is going to be out. And they were like, shit, we got to chase invoices, and you just don't know. When a client used to be late 2 or 3 weeks, I'm like, oh, like, it's all good. Like, don't stress about it. And now I know that it's not good. You have to pay that invoice on time, so we just learned as we grew, and it was a battle. Yeah.
well,
Particularly because I had no business experience. I had never worked for a builder here. I had done none of that. So all that was new, I guess. Yeah. So
this is why I was so excited to talk to you, because I really wanted to show, like, guys, whether they're doing their apprenticeship or they're just starting out, like, anything is possible. Like, it doesn't matter how big you are. Like, everybody goes through problems.
Again, it just comes down to how hard you want it. Like, when I started, I'll give another example for those people that don't think like it's possible, but I didn't want to pay like an architect or a draftee. So I'm like, I'm going to do the plans. I had no idea how to do the plans. I'm like, okay, looking online, I found that software was called Chief Architect. Download that, $5K. I'm like, okay, it's an investment, all right. How to do a plan? I'm starting to draw lines and everything. I'm like, fuck, I got to do a full set of plan. Like, it's hard. And so what I used to do, because I had never worked for an architect, I had never even seen a full sets of plan. This is maybe sound a little bit sus, I guess, but I used to go on sites. I used to go on a plantation home job site. The plans used to be in the sort of meter boxes. I used to grab that plan.
Do we have to cut this part out? Or?
I don't think we do. I don't think we do. Fuck it. And I used to look at the planes and see what's on their plane so that I know exactly what needs to be on my plane so that I can get like a BA. And so the first BA I actually sent to the certifier, which I think was PCG, I think, it was my first set of plan I had ever done. And I had never sent a plan to like BA. I hadn't even done like nothing like that. And the plan got approved. I was like, yes, so it just showed, just look for the information. This is what I hate the most sometimes. Even staff, they ask, oh, how do we do this? Look for it. It's not that hard. We've got internet, we got Google, we got YouTube, we got podcast. It's not that hard. All the information you want, you can find. You don't even need to employ people,
And the thing is, people will be wasting an hour, 2-3 hours a day on social media.
That's right. And then they think, oh, I need to employ this, I need to employ that. When you start a business, you got to start, like you haven't got much money.
If people put half the time they put in social media into themselves, personal growth and bloody development, they'd be so much better off.
That's it. So just learn and you will be surprised by all the shit you can do. I don't think, and I say this all the time, I don't think I'm the smartest guys. Yes, I'm pretty smart, I'd like to think, but I'm not the smartest. There's people that are way, way smarter than me, but I love what I do and I want to get ahead. Yeah. And I will do whatever it takes to get ahead. So, yeah.
Mate, even that story is amazing. Because, I don't know, I've learned a lot about design and architecture, and I get involved with all the design meetings and things now. And people might take that story, what you said, the wrong way. Like, oh, that's fucked. Like, how do you know what to draw? But like, obviously now you've got designers in your business and things. Because
I do.
Well, the proof's in the pudding. Like, you look at your social media page. The homes you're building, next level.
And this is good because this is what's really good, because when I get a drafting question, I know how to answer it, So I guess, yes, it's weird. And you think about it, yes, we took some risk where I used to do the plans, but I look at it again, if I had to do it again, I would do the same thing because it taught me how to draw plans. And
the knowledge you've gained from doing everything over the years.
Right. And so he told me what you think of it from a drafting point of view. So now I can train my team. And this is possibly why we can do custom home with the volume we do, because I got the knowledge and all that sort of thing. So look, it's business. Sometimes you got to take risks, If it works out, it doesn't. And
so how long was it before you employed a building? So do you have an architect, building designer? Like who?
So we've got, I guess I would call them draftees, I guess. We've got drafting manager. So yeah, we do have one. We probably got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 draftees now. But
so no building designer?
Oh, we've got a design manager that sort of do the concept plan. So this is also it's gonna sound weird, but up until probably a year ago when he started, I used to do all the concept plans. So every single client I come with a sketch, I would draw that sketch, give that to sales to price it up, and then give that to the drafting team to actually sell. But yeah, prior to like a year, I would do all those plans every single day. I would smash that concept plan, and I got so quick at it that I smashed out like a single story plan in half an hour. Boom, smashed out a 2-story.
So you got some pretty like intense designs on your socials. Like that's
and look, my house, which I built maybe I started maybe 2 years ago. 1,050 square meter home. I drew the full plan myself.
Yeah,
full plan, the elevation, joinery, the whole lot. So yeah, and I feel as a builder, even if you don't want to draw plans, that's cool. But learn how to do it. You'll get a much different perspective about building and see how a draftee actually thinks, so that you can tell them the right information.
I think builders having more knowledge about design, orientation,
for sure. It's so
layout,
important. So important.
That
that plan is the number one thing. This is what I say to clients. This is what I say to everybody. If that plan's wrong, it's going to be a headache.
Yeah.
So check that plan again, like we're saying, check that plan and make sure everything is spot on. Even from a client's point of view, have you checked every single page? Don't skip and like, yeah, it's looking good. No, every single page, spend time on it.
Documentation is everything, isn't it?
Everything. Yeah.
And,
yeah.
So do you charge a design fee, or is it all bundled up into your package?
It's bought up, right? So it's free, I guess. Yeah. To be fair, we probably lose money for how to count the hours we spent on the plans, but it's part of what makes us our difference, and it is what it is.
So, mate, where to for Homes by CMA? Like,
it's always hard to be honest. I was thinking when we got you to 92 million, I was thinking, I really want to crack the hundreds, but at the same time, cracking the hundreds, is hard, because then we had that period, say last 2 years, where we bump up to a certain, I think 1 year we did 400 homes, and it's just too hard. It's just way too hard, and I don't want to go back there. So so I don't know. Yeah.
So was your turnover less when you did?
We did because the prices go up. Price went up quite hard. But yeah, 1 year we punched out 400 homes, which is mental. But I don't want to go back there. It was too hard. It's just too hard. And as a builder, you got to find your sweet spot, and where I'm currently at, maybe a little bit smaller is my sweet spot. So then the rest, I'd love to do more developments.
Yeah.
I love really complicated spec homes, like huge like spec homes. I love that stuff. Like what Dustin Braden does is what I...
Yeah, we're talking about that a little bit when we're away.
Like, oh my God, I love that shit. Like basements and rooftop and pool on the roof. Like I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's challenging, isn't it? Like,
and I love a challenge. Yourself. I love that stuff. From a builder's point of view, again, I say this to my site supervisors, like you want to do, don't be scared of the complicated jobs, because this is where you're going to learn the most. Yeah. You will never learn that much on the standard homes, but when you do that complicated home, suspended slab, basement, pool heap, you're going to learn so much. So purely from a learning point of view, they're worth doing those jobs.
Yeah. So because you were saying you want to get more involved with those sort of more architectural type homes.
Yeah.
And
but yeah, purely spec homes. Too hard to do for a client. We don't have. We are not suited for it. It's just too hard. I feel, again, you got to pick your niche market. I can't do what you do, and you can't do what I do, and I'm cool with that, But spec homes where I can design, I can do full selections. Those are fine. Yeah.
Well, mate, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, because it's you're kicking goals. And like I said, you look at your Instagram page, and like you look like a custom home builder on steroids. Like
it's a good way to yourself, but it is true. It's true. We are actually a custom home builder on steroids. I like that.
So and so you do, like, we'll get to a bit more of your personal stuff. So like you've recently, or not too long ago, put yourself in a position to try something new. Like you got in the cage and did a bit of fighting.
I did Muay Thai, and again, everything I do in my life, I go too hard, and I overtrained. It's hard sometimes, because you don't look at yourself like on a neutral point of view, and so I overtrained really bad. I was training probably on top of the work I was doing at CMA. I was training like 3 hours a day. So I overtrained, but for me, it was a mindset thing. It wasn't necessarily the workout. I mean, yes, I love boxing and all that, but as a person, I feel you need to always push yourself, and the more stress you can handle and the more you push yourself, the better you are going to be in your personal relationship, in your business, like in all areas of life. So
100%.
My whole goal was I want to push myself. I'm going to do it. And
had you done any type of fighting before?
I had done maybe 2 years of Muay Thai when I was like a teenager. And but no fighting, nothing like that. Just like as a teenager,
So did you set a target to train and to get in the cage?
Not really. So I joined the club and really enjoying it, the first week and stuff. And the coach is like, "Do you want to join the fighters class?" I'm like, "Fighters class? Okay, cool. I mean, what is it about?" Well, it's a fighters class, so it's a bit more like, for the people that are a bit more high up. And well, yeah, of course, I'd love to. You join the fighters club, and it's like, "Oh, there's a fight that's coming up March 11th. It's like, do you want to do it?" And then you're like, "Oh, fight, that actually sounds pretty cool, And I said yes. And from that point, you are committed. So from that point, I went doing my workout, the diet. I have learned so much. I went down to 5.2% body fat. I was ripped as, I was fit as, and overtrained. So I took it too far, because that's just me. And I lost my fight, got two broken ribs, but zero regrets, and I highly recommend to anybody that wants, not necessarily, it doesn't have to be martial arts, but even the breathing thing we did with the ice, jumping in ice, do it, because it's great.
Can we talk about that the weekend we went away?
Yeah.
So like everyone that listens to me, they know that I'm very open-minded now. I have a crack at anything, and like the cold showers and the ice baths and the breathing has been massive for me. It's definitely been a life changer. But so a mutual friend of mine and Chris's, so it's the guy I went to Mount Everest with 5 years ago now, and I think he actually sent it to me. Like, he knows I've been doing a bit of breathing with one of the other guys that come to Everest. And I think he sent it to me as a bit of a joke. Like, "Hey, do you want to go to this?" And as a bit of a joke, I sent back, "Oh, all good. I've already booked it." Yeah. And so he's like, "Holy fuck, I was just joking." But anyway, so long story short, me, a couple other mates, and Chris come along, and I think you were pretty open-minded with it, but a couple of other guys were a bit skeptical about it.
Yeah.
But,
and I had no idea what you expected. I had done a little bit of look online, but not much. So I was like, oh, I'm the same as you. I think I'm like, I don't really care what it is. I'll do it.
Just have a crack. So it was called Breathless Expeditions with Johannes. It was down at we went to the one down at Mount Kosciuszko. Unbelievable weekend.
I agree.
But you, like, out of the, what was it, 22 or 24 people or something in our group, and so cold water immersion, walking in the snow in our boxer shorts, but a lot of breathing exercises. And mate, out of the whole group, you had the craziest stories. So.
Yeah, I remember now. Actually, oh shit.
So Chris got the name of French King.
French King. Yeah,
flying around on your magic carpet.
This is what has sometimes. Never say never, and always have an open mind. Because if someone would have told me you're gonna see this and you're gonna see the colors, I'd be like, bullshit. But it's true. Have an open mind. Try it, and shit.
Yeah, but so how have you thought since you come back from that? Because there was 5 of us went down there, and 4 of you hadn't really done any of it, and some of the things that come up and experiences and things were pretty out there.
Yeah, to be honest, it makes me want to explore a little bit further.
Get some mushrooms before you do it next time.
Why not? I feel like. As a person, the more you know about yourself and the more you know your limits and this how better you are, and I always like learning about myself, exactly why I did this whole boxing thing. Again, I did nothing. I would see nothing. I did, even with the ass, it's true, you are a little bit scared too. There's no point in lying and say, oh, I wasn't scared, jump in the ass. No, it's cold. You got to take everything off. You got to jump in the ass. It's like, shit, and at first you do it and you're a bit scared and you jump again and you're good, so.
Mate, that was actually hard. I've done a lot of ice bars and that, and so sitting in the ice, I think the first day it was -2 or something. I think, we sit there for 8 minutes? Yeah,
that was hard. I remember I was trying to hold it, but it was so hard, yeah.
But that second day, jumping in, climbing out, jumping in it, man, by the 5th or 6th,
you get frozen.
Oh yeah, I was hurt.
You really do. You really do.
But the breathing exercises, I don't know. I just think you've got to be open minded. You got to try new things.
I agree.
It's really some of the things that I've experienced and gone through with it has helped me deal with shit that I didn't even know I had to deal with.
Of course, yeah. I think again, life I think is a lot about handling stress. We get stressed a lot, particularly if we have a business, particularly if you're a home builder.
Home building is good, mate. Stop saying it.
There's no doubt about it. But look,
it's stressful.
This is it. If you can learn to manage, I feel, and I said that during this breathing thing, that I feel like I don't necessarily stress. I feel like I cope with stuff really good, but I feel like a normal person in my position would have a mental breakdown instantly after one day of what I do. But if you can learn how to cope with it, breathing, ice bath, anything, if you can learn how to, and we are all going to be different. What's going to work for you may not work for me, but in general, the things work for everyone, this or breathing and all this. So if you can learn how to cope with it, I feel your life's going to be so much easier. And I see even supervisor stress and Trey's stress. I had one that had a massive stress attack, and I was trying to teach him, breathe at night, do a bit of some meditation. The main thing is don't let it get to you. And I think too many people let it get it to them, and they just stress so much, and I don't have that. All those things help massively.
Do you listen to the radio and the news and stuff, or you just sort of run your own race?
I don't. I hate it. I really don't like it. I love YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. I love my YouTube. I love my audiobooks. I love learning podcasts, whether it's Joe Rogan or anything. I just love, even Joe Rogan, talking about this on mushrooms. I mean, I'm not into the thing and I'm not a druggie, but learning about it, because again, you have to have an open mind.
Yeah.
What if you could discover more about yourself? I don't know. I've never done it, but I want to know about it. And then it's up to me to say yes or no, I want to try or no, so.
Mate, I think the couple of experiences you had at that Breathless Expeditions, I think you've got a lot more to find out, French King floating around on a coloured carpet.
Imagine that, I could be the next Liver King, yeah. I couldn't believe when I saw it twice in a row. I just don't get it. It was weird.
It wasn't the second time there was some women.
Yeah, some ladies. Yeah, I know, it was weird. The beach, and I was dressed exactly like him. It was just really strange. Yeah, it was
Mate,
really strange.
I'd keep
I
investigating.
had never
that.
had any experience like that, by the way. Like nothing, yeah, it was just really, really random. So
Have you felt how have you felt since? Because that was only 6 weeks ago, or 7 weeks ago.
It wasn't
I don't
really.
know. It might not even been that long.
To be honest, I felt good. I can't pinpoint what it is exactly. Maybe it's this, maybe it's a mix of everything. But I've been feeling really, really good, and I've definitely been missing the ice bath. Cold shower doesn't cut it, but the ice bath I have been missing. And funny enough, like on the way here, I was thinking, because I was tired, I was driving, like it's a 2-hour drive. I was feeling a little bit tired. I'm thinking, I wonder if Dwayne's got an ice bath, because I jumped in it before the actual podcast, So yeah,
It's on the cars. We've been talking about getting one, but my wife's doing them now. Like she didn't think it was ever anything she would do, and like she's keen as now.
That's good.
So what else do you do? Like what does Chris do to?
Yeah, look, at the moment, I'm not gonna lie, I don't do much but work.
Are you getting better? Like, is it getting to a point where things are starting to?
I go through phases, right? I go through a phases where, for example, I'll do the Muay Thai thing, and this takes me off a little bit of work. But then, as soon as I finished my Muay Thai comp, I was so focused on work to the point where it's not healthy. And I know that. Because I know myself now, but and it's still to that point now. I know I would just work way too much, so I know I gotta find a hobby. And for example, I know Trent's pushing me with these sort of mini things, but I know it's gonna be good, like for me, if I do it, because it takes me away from work. And sometimes we think that working a lot is beneficial, and I'd like to say, yes, to a certain extent, but I even find it with myself that sometimes there's just no point. You become like a point where you are just not productive.
Yeah.
And you'd rather chill, get your brain chill, do something else, racing or like whatever, and come back like focused again. And for me, this is the biggest thing: learning to not work as much. Some people don't want to work. I want to work all the time. It's bad. I can't explain it. I'm addicted to it. It's like it's like a drug. Work is my drug. I'm really addicted.
We went to the Ed Sheeran concert. I think it was earlier this year, and like he on stage, he said like some people tell me I need to switch off. Like all I do is write songs, sing songs, play guitar, and he's like, I love it.
And
like,
it's true.
I don't like. And he said like I don't like fishing. I don't like cars. I don't like all this other stuff.
It's true.
I love my job.
It's true. I love my job. I love my team. I love coming to the office, and even if there's problems and I fix it, it makes you feel good. Like it makes you alive. It makes you brain tick. Like got my parents there. Like it's just good. Like yes, there's gonna be problems, but at the end of the day, I think this is what drives me. Like, and
it's an unbelievable feeling when you get to a point where, because I'm not as like I'm driven. I don't with the kids and stuff now. Like I love my chill out time. And
I'm lucky on our kids, I have to say.
But like it is incredible when you get to that point. Like, because there is not a day now that goes by where I like the alarm goes off and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want to get up. Like
I don't have that either. Yeah.
I just love, like you said, I love dealing with stuff. I love sorting stuff out. I love seeing the drive. Like with the building business, there's lots of drivers, but like the number one thing for me is like as builders, we get to build someone's dream.
Right. Like, and how good is it when a client's happy?
Yeah.
And they love your work and they appreciate, man, when a client appreciates what we do, it's like you could pay me no matter amount of like I would still love that more, because it's such great satisfaction that the amount of work you've put in is paying off.
Do you think builders get them, like builders don't know how to run the business? They lose their passion for building, which then starts to show up in the way they treat clients and all those types of things.
Possibly. There's a lot of mentality, the client's an asshole and blah, blah, blah. But I don't have none of that. I think it's true. You probably get into a hole as a builder or as a business owner, and you feel like, I guess business is shit. And then you feel like, yes, you can't charge more, you can't do this, but it's all a mindset thing. I think it really is. And I say this to so many builders. I've had quite a few cheapies that used to work for us and have set up their own like building things, and they do maybe 10, 15 homes a year. And I said to them, charge more. You are worth it. You're a small builder. You got quality. You can't charge this price. Like, don't do it.
Yeah.
Oh, but I'm scared I'm going to lose the job. Sell yourself.
Sell your passion, your vision.
Tell them what you just told me, how much you love it, but I think they're just scared. And it's hard, because I used to have that too. Obviously, like you're scared to put the price up and you feel bad about it, but it's a business. If you don't have a business and you can't have stuff, and it just doesn't work.
Your business has to make money.
It has to.
Like profit is not a dirty word. You have to make money.
It has to. And there's nothing wrong with it. And I think from a client's point of view, it's true. Like you go to a restaurant, you're going to pay for a steak. Yes, you could get the same steak at Coles, but it's different. And this is the same with home building. So I just don't see why we can't charge what we should be charging. And I still don't think we are charging what we should be charging for the amount of work we actually put into the houses, whether it's a small builder or us or whatever. I feel we are still not charging enough.
Well, again, it's back to that mindset thing, isn't it? Like people get stuck in that mindset where they think it's all about the price.
That's right.
But really, at the end of the day, the price is only a little part of it. Like clients want you to solve a problem.
For sure. If I was a small builder and I was starting all over again, like I used to do, I guess, your customer service has to be on point. Particularly if you're a small builder, your customer service got to be outstanding. Again, think of it as a chef and it's a small restaurant. You want a chef to come and talk to you, like think about this. Like don't try to think of the client as a client. Try to think of it as a special client. You know, you got to blow them away. Like, what do you have to do to make that client say, wow, that experience was outstandanding? Because if they say this, they're going to tell it to all the other friends and you're going to get work like this with no marketing.
Yeah.
So,
And if you deliver that, they'll pay you what you deserve to be paid.
That's right. Yeah, we just think too much about the pricing, but I think that the price is not as important as most builders or most business owners think. And I say this sometimes too. Not all my trades, because obviously I can only pay so much. But some of my trades that I really see like they are not charging enough, I'm like, look, I should not say this, but you should charge more. You really should charge more. Like it's too cheap. Like So and I think sometimes they don't realize, they feel bad, and man, it's a business. It's true. You have to have an income. It's normal.
Yeah, profit's
it's
not
life.
a dirty word.
It's life. It's not like you are scamming people. I'm not scamming people. It's like, there's nothing wrong. So,
Yeah. Well, mate, thanks so much for coming on this afternoon. It's been an absolute pleasure. You've dropped lots of bombs. I think there's going to be, you've delivered a lot of value.
I have to censor some of those words.
No. It's all good, mate. It's all good. This is all, it's what we do here. So we're spreading the word. We're creating a new building industry.
And I love what you do, because again, I wish I had someone when I started that could have helped me, because of the years of proper hard work. And I think, if you're a young builder or even older builder and you look for someone that's done what you want to do, and just learn from them, because it's true.
100%.
Like it's so hard, and you don't have this until you have experience, and sometimes you think but you just don't. Like you really don't. So
we can crank this up again. What do you think? Like I think that's a good point what you just brought up. Like why do you think so many people hesitate to learn from someone that's like where they want to be?
Sometimes maybe they think it's a bit of a scam or something, I guess. So I don't know. This is what we were talking about, actually. You are a building coach, but you never had a building company. And for me, it's true. Like, and I say this sometimes to some people where there's a financial planner, but he's not rich. How does that work? How can you give me advice? So I feel that, yes, sometimes people create that distrust. And I think this is where someone like, for example, yourself can do really well, because you are a builder, you have a building firm, you are doing well, and you have plenty of experience. So,
because why wouldn't, like, and look, I don't know, I think back in like maybe 8 years ago, I was that skeptical person, but like, why wouldn't you spend time, money, energy or something with someone that's where you want to be, that's been through everything that you're going through, all that you want to avoid, and just skip everything to get to the good part?
Maybe sometimes it's just the main thing, like
I do think that's a bit
maybe
part of it.
We're too proud, and I don't know. I feel
it's funny because a lot of we just finished a sale with Live Life Build into our Elevate program, and a lot of our sales now are starting to come from the wife or the partner. That's pushing, like saying to the husband, hey, like there's a better way, like let's try this, let's get on board.
And particularly I think if you are young, I think young builders, they're like, I'm a young builder and I'm doing really well, and sometimes you have to put your ego on the side and just go for it. Like, because I feel, again, if I had to look at that 15 years of CMA, if I had someone that could show me even a little bit, not even everything, but a little bit, I would have saved half of that time easily. But again, you just don't know, you just don't pay attention. And if I had to redo it all again, I would find someone that had done it and just learn from them. Learn the systems, learn all those things, learn about cash flow, like learn about have to get a good accountant. Nobody told me this. You have to get a good solicitor. Nobody told me this. You just expect things, and I feel sometimes it's true what they say. You got to spend money to make money, and if you spend that little bit, which is not even usually a big investment with the coach and the seminars and all that, but it's not even that much. But the return I can sort of give you is huge.
Yeah,
it's huge, and I've learned that I guess later on. I guess as I grew this sort of business, and I've learned that I got to listen to the accountant, or when he does a seminar, I really should go because I can learn something. Because there's always something new.
Do you do much networking? Like, do you
I'm
talk
not
to
good
other
at
business?
that.
No?
Not really. No, I'm hopeless. I'm absolutely hopeless at the developer some networking. You know how all the builders, so big ones anyway, it's a renowned thing where you have to dine with the developers. I don't know that crap. Don't even get me close. I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Networking with builders, I guess.
No, well, not so much with builders like you. You're hanging out with Trent a little bit now.
I guess a little bit. I try to, because I really enjoy it. I'm not a friends type of guy that's gonna go to the pub at 4:00, have 10 beers, and talk about the footy. I'm not like that, and I'm not saying these are people that do that are doing something wrong. It's a life. It's just not me. I am not like that. I love socializing with people that are similar minded, and I can
bounce ideas off, talk about business.
That's right. You hang around with you, Trent and Jim. I'm like, I feel pumped up, I'm like, look at Jim, he's retired, he's doing what he loves. This is great,
It's very motivating hanging around
it
like-minded
really
people.
It really is. And some people may see like sort of jealousy, and sort of, I see like, good on you. Like, I want to learn what I can from you, so that I can apply this to my life, and I think you can learn from like everyone. I'm sure you can learn from me, and I can learn from you. And I think no matter who you are and what size of business you have, you can learn. And so I really do enjoy all this of networking. I got to do more, and particularly with the people at Trent and you. I mean, Trent's a fantastic guy. Like,
we need to get Trent on. We've been trying to get him on for a while.
So good. Because again, Trent is someone, and those are the people that I love the most. Where they are not showing off, they are not, I'm the richest, I'm the this, I'm the that. They are just genuine.
Mate, Trent is the most.
They don't need to show off, but and they know, and that's all that. Yeah. That's also important. And I feel this is the best, Again, you go to his showroom, he treats you so well. He doesn't have to be there. He doesn't have to like make you like a coffee. But I do the same, and I feel like this is why we bond so well, because...
So you've got to find people you connect with, don't you?
Exactly. And I've never connected with those people that are so fancy, I can't do it. I think it comes from my dad. My dad's really not like that, and I just can't do it. I can't do the fancy this and fancy that. I can't do it. It's not me. It's really not me, and I struggle. And when I see this, I'm like, just get me out of here. I can't do it. The young entrepreneur thing is okay because it's young people and all that, and it's fine. But some of them are a little bit wankerish, I guess. But
actually, we didn't even get to that. I was keen. Yeah. Like, how did you get it? How did you get to that?
So first year I applied, I think it was 2017. I'm gonna apply young entrepreneur. You read the young rich list and all every year. Like
Shay's gonna have to cut this into 3 episodes.
Hopefully,
we're
one day. I know, right?
You're right.
I talk a lot sometimes.
No, that's good.
Hopefully one day I'm getting on the list and all that. And one year I'm thinking I'm just gonna apply for it. And I thought I had a good year. I don't know. We may have done 40 million in turnover, or 36, I think. I thought I had a great year. And the owner of Bold Living won. I'm like, okay, cool. He's got a much bigger business than me. I get it, but he didn't start from scratch like me. But that's fine, cool. And then I didn't apply the year after that. I was just grinding my business. And the year after that, I applied, won, and which was great surprise. I won the Brisbane one, and this is how much I thought I was going to win, because then there's the Australian one. I'm thinking, there's no chance. I'm not even going to go to the event. No chance. And I get an email saying I won the Australian one. I'm like, this cannot be real. Like, I said to my mom, look, I've won the Australian Young Entrepreneur. This can't be real, And because sometimes you don't look at yourself and you're confident, yes, but you don't necessarily look at how well your business is doing, and you don't think you can do it. Yeah. And so I won the Australian one, and then next year I applied and I won again, and last year I won again, and so this is how it sort of rolled out. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's
super proud.
This is what I say sometimes, I don't care about awards and I don't care about this, but sometimes you really work so hard, and as a business owner, you don't necessarily get no recognition. And I feel sometimes this,
It's very...
it means a lot.
It's pretty unusual as a business owner that someone ever gives you a pat on the back.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Normally, it's just nothing, and to be recognized, and even like for me, like a lot of what I do it for my parents. I do it because I want them to be proud of their son, and for me, this is probably this bigger side of things. I think like I wanna show like my parents that like I've done it. So
Yeah,
So
no, good on you, mate. Well, look, thanks very much for coming in. We'll wrap it up. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and mate, I can't wait to see where you go from here. Like I think you've got
that challenge.
incredible things ahead of you. So, just quickly, where can people find you? Homes by CMA, Instagram.
Yeah, Homes by CMA. So website, Instagram is the best thing of all time. If you're able to go on Instagram, create your own page, because this is fantastic.
And you got your own podcast?
We have our own podcast. I got to do more. People request a lot, and sometimes I'm getting told that I'm too honest and too transparent, particularly when I talk about the other big builders and the QBCC and all that stuff. But yeah, I think people like it. I think nowadays there's a lack of transparency. I think too many people try to be fake, and I try to be as transparent and as straightforward as I can. So podcast on YouTube, Homes by CMA, website, and 6 display homes, and an office in North Lakes, and a new one about to get started hopefully soon.
Yeah,
once I find a bit of time.
Yeah, well, mate, I can't wait to see that. But look, guys, go and check Chris out. Doing incredible things in business, but also for the industry, really lifting the standard of that volume builder market. So, mate, thanks for coming on board.
No worries, thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing where you go from here.
Thank you.
Are you ready to build smarter, live better, and enjoy life? Then head over to livelifebuild.com/elevate to get started.
Everything discussed during the Level Up podcast with me, Dwayne Pearce, is based solely on my own personal experiences and those experiences of my guests. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only, and any reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own risk. We recommend that you obtain your own professional advice in respect to the topics discussed during this podcast.